See the horrifying scenes of Japan's destruction after the atomic bombs, how Hiroshima and Nagasaki were turned to ruins. Atomic attacks on Japan, a horrific chapter in human history. Part 1. Scientific background in Hiroshima. 1. Nuclear energy and humanity's first encounter. The scientific foundation of the atomic bomb emerged in the early 20th century when physicists began to explore the inner structure of the atom. In 1938, German scientists Otto Hahn and Lise Meitner conducted a groundbreaking experiment in nuclear fission, splitting a uranium atom to release an immense amount of energy. This discovery laid the foundation for the development of nuclear weapons. The inner workings of the Manhattan Project. At Los Alamos, thousands of scientists, engineers, military personnel, and laborers collaborated to develop a weapon the world had never seen before. Renowned physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer was appointed as the scientific director of the project. Two types of bombs were created: Little Boy, intended for Hiroshima, and Fat Man for Nagasaki. After intense debate among American government and military officials, the decision was made to move this technology from the laboratory to the battlefield. 2. The human landscape after Hiroshima. On August 6, when the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, a blinding flash, a thunderous explosion, and a firestorm engulfed the city. Human bodies were incinerated, leaving behind only their shadows on walls. Voices of the survivors. Sadako Sasaki was a 12-year-old girl who survived the bombing but later developed leukemia due to radiation exposure. Following a Japanese tradition, she folded 1,000 origami cranes in the hope of recovery. Sadly, she succumbed to her illness. Today, a memorial to her stands in Hiroshima Peace Park. Dr. Takashi Nagai, a physician in Nagasaki, continued to treat the wounded despite being exposed to radiation himself. His writings remain a powerful voice against nuclear weapons. 3. The world reacts to Hiroshima. In the first few days, the world did not fully grasp the extent of the bomb's effects. American media hailed it as a victorious act. But as Japanese doctors, journalists, and foreign observers reported the horrific wounds, burned skin, and long-term effects on survivors, a global ethical debate was sparked. 4. Reflections in Japanese culture. Following the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japanese literature, cinema, and art underwent a transformation. The film Black Rain portrayed the psychological trauma of the survivors. Poet Tada Shoichi and painter Iwamura Hisao used their work to awaken the conscience of the global community. 5. Japan's socioeconomic recovery after the attacks. The bombings had crippled Japan's economy. Millions were homeless, sick, and orphaned. Yet, the Japanese people faced these challenges with resilience. With American assistance, the Marshall Plan for Japan helped rebuild the country's infrastructure, education, healthcare, and technology, leading to remarkable progress. Atomic attacks on Japan, a horrific chapter in human history. Part 2. Nagasaki, Global Politics, and Japan's Peace Doctrine. 6. The second attack on Nagasaki, another apocalypse. Just 3 days after the devastation of Hiroshima, on August 9, 1945, the United States launched its second atomic attack on the city of Nagasaki. The bomb, named Fat Man, was dropped from a B-29 bomber called Boxcar. The original target was Kokura, but due to bad weather, the aircraft was diverted to Nagasaki. When the bomb exploded, nearly 75,000 people were instantly killed, and thousands more were injured. A major church and an orphanage in Nagasaki were completely destroyed. Since the city was located in a deep valley, the effects were somewhat limited, but the human destruction was still beyond description. Stories of the survivors. Keiko Fukuda, a nurse, provided support to hundreds of injured victims in the destroyed hospitals, despite the lack of resources. Yamamoto Senso, a teacher, was in a classroom with children when the bomb fell. 40 of his students were killed instantly. He himself was severely injured but later dedicated his life to educating and helping the survivors. 7. Japan's defeat and surrender announcement. After Nagasaki, Japan lost the ability to continue the war. On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito addressed the public for the first time via radio and announced Japan's surrender. This announcement paved the way for the end of World War II. 8. The beginning of the Cold War and the nuclear arms race. Following the atomic bombings, the world split into two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. While Japan's wounds were still fresh, the United States and the Soviet Union began the nuclear arms race. Each nation expanded its stockpiles, increased the size of their bombs, and developed space, missile, and defense systems to outmaneuver each other. Nuclear tests and the impact on humanity. From 1950 to 1980, hundreds of nuclear tests were conducted across the world. Many of these were carried out on land, in the atmosphere, and at sea, resulting in long-lasting radiation effects on multiple generations. 9. United Nations and global campaigns against nuclear weapons. In 1946, the United Nations established the Atomic Energy Commission with the aim of controlling nuclear weapons. Later, in 1968, the Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, was created to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons. Global peace movements. Pugwash conferences, an international organization of scientists who raised their voices against nuclear weapons. Mayors for Peace, a global peace movement led by the mayors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, uniting cities worldwide for a nuclear-free future. 10. Japan's pacifist constitution and foreign policy. In 1947, Japan adopted a new constitution, and under Article 9, Japan renounced war as a national right, making it the only country to constitutionally abandon the right